with an aim to deliver personalized solutions to students.
Started much before the pandemic hit us and trying to bring technology to the classrooms in India.
He's bridging the gap between in-class and at-home learning.
The whole idea was to build a company which is based on research and data, because my background as an engineer.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Varun Kumar for excellence in education and technology.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching NewsX A-List. I'm joined with Mr. Varun Kumar. He is the co-founder and CEO of Classklap. A very warm welcome to NewsX, Varun.
Thank you, Richa. Good to be here.
Varun, tell us about Classklap's journey. So many edutech companies have made their place, platforms have made their place during the lockdown and some few before that. Tell us a bit more about Classklap right now.
Yeah, so we started much before the pandemic hit us and trying to bring technology to the classrooms in India. We started in 2009, me and my co-founder Naveen, with the focus to improve learning outcomes in our schools specifically. And the whole idea was to build a company which is based on research and data, because my background as an engineer and Naveen's background as a doctoral fellowship in education econometrics. And as you would imagine, back in the day, the hardest part of building a data-driven education technology company was to gather the data itself, because all our assessment, books, everything was offline. So that was the problem which we tried to solve by latching on to the current behaviors of school exams. So we kind of automated the school exam process itself, which gave us the data, using which we created the personalized remedial solution, which is our USP, and we are the only company who kind of provides this solution. And so you can see back in the day itself, we were ahead of the market in terms of technology. And pandemic has definitely enabled us to kind of scale further and reach to the larger number of schools.
Varun, as you mentioned about your USP, the personalized remedial solution that you guys have, can you explain further to our viewers what it is? How does it work?
Yeah, so the current system, if you look at the challenges at the end of the assessment or exam, the system labels the child as good, average, or bad. So you say, hey, this is average child, he's good in maths, bad in English, stuff like that, right? But it does not provide any feedback on how to improve or what that child can do to improve in math. So basically, when we analyze the data, using our data analytics technique, our software recommends specific targeted content for each child. So in fact, say in math, in fraction, unlike fraction to like fraction, if the child has a problem, it will identify and will provide specific input to improve on that specific sub-content. So the important is not to label the child, but to say, hey, this is where you need to improve. And the second part was we were able to do this in print. So like how the technology scaled up to provide printed, say, phone bills for Airtel, like how it is different for everybody. Similarly, we use that technology to print these worksheets for individual child, so that teachers in classroom can support the kids to work on the specific issue. And this goes with, if you look at the latest NEP 2020 mandate, to look at the overall development of the child, taking it away from the rote learning. So this is how the personalized remedial solution works.
So what do you think? How do you think, what is the impact of NEP in education?
So NEP, we really welcomed, and it was kind of quite overdue as a policy change. And if you look at, because we focus more on the lower grades, so we are more active in K to 5. So I'll talk specifically about how it impacts the lower grade, because these are the grades which build the foundation for our kids. So three main changes which the welcome changes NEP has brought is, first time, there is a curriculum framework for pre-primary. So a lot of our kids go to pre-primary schools, those nursery, KG, or whatever we call. In those grades, there was no curriculum framework which was there by the government, which has come, which is a welcome change. Second is, government first time has called out the importance of literacy and numeracy. So they think all other subjects are important, but unless you build the foundation in language and maths, you will find it hard to basically go to next classes. And third is the competency-based assessment and addressing the learning gaps, which we actually work on. So these three are the major changes which government has proposed. And being a market leader in this specific category, we are really excited about these changes.
Can you help and make me understand, and for our viewers also, how does Classklap work in schools? How does it function in a basic understanding?
Sure. So what happens is, the way school adopts a curriculum, which includes basically all type of learning content, including courseware like textbook, workbook, teacher lesson plans, assessment. So the entire curriculum aspect of the content aspect of what school delivers to the child. So school signups our program. And what we do is over the year, say beginning of the year, we provide all the books, digital content, apps, so that basically teachers can use and use effectively to deliver it to students. And then what we do differently is we set the learning outcomes. So we set the goal. So by end of this term, you need to achieve X, Y, Z.
Okay.
And then the assessment is prepared on that. We administer the assessment, which is done by us. And then that's what gives us the data back. So instead of providing just the content and forget it, we kind of close the loop by taking that data and providing our printed personalized solution. So think of it as like a modern education curriculum provider, which not only provides the books and CDs, but basically is owning the learning outcomes so that we ensure that the child improves by the end of the term. And that's why you see year over year, one of the big foundation, Michael Susan and Dell Foundation, conducted a pretty large study across 40 schools and 5,000 students. We outscored all other programs in the country in terms of learning improvement in a single year.
So you would consider to say that this has had a very positive impact on students' learning abilities at the end of it, and you can analyze that even better. As you explained earlier, that data was something which you didn't have, but now over the years, of course, you do have attain the data, and you consider that by the end of it, you're seeing a difference in students' learning abilities.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, like if you compare to say where there is a no program, versus there like a specific, like some app or some program is going on versus a complete R curriculum program. So if a no program shows about 5-point improvement and the other programs are giving about 10 to 11 point, our program gave 18 to 24 point improvement. So you can say about 4 to 5 times improvement compared to what was going on in the school earlier. And that is pretty simple to understand, right? If you're providing something which is specific to that child, you will see that improvement. And that's why parents go for private tuition, right? Because you need that personal attention that, okay, this is the problem of my child.
And the excellent part is by the end of it, it is customized for every student to understand where they're lacking and what is the problem that is happening, which is very interesting. I wish it was there when we guys were kids and not told that you're an average student and you're good and you're bad. But tell us something, how is Classklap leveraging technology and how is it enabling you to tap into, into newer venues, into something that increases your revenue share?
So the two core things which I mentioned, right? One was this whole personalized remedial part, and second thing was connecting the learning outcome through the year. So these are the two core focus area for us in terms of technology. So basically kind of generating these exams. So we don't generate exam manually. We have a big content engine where you set certain parameters and basically it churns out. So we generate more than 5,000 SKUs of exam, gather 10 million plus data points and generate 1 million of these personalized worksheet every year, right? So enabling this entire kind of flow or the supply chain of it is one big use case of technology. And second, I was talking about the learning outcome. So basically exams become rote because that's if you look at that's the goal a student is trying to chase or a system is trying to chase. So if you put that goal clearly right from the textbook, workbook to lesson plan to digital content to assessment. So at each step, if you clearly call out, hey, this is why we are learning and what you should achieve at the end of the day at every step, it basically keeps the system aligned and the delivery is much better. So connecting that. Because see, the thing is, unless your thing is streamlined earlier, you can't fix it later, right?
Yes.
So connecting things end to end which is the big, so learning management system, the student learning app, teacher app. So those enable that connecting of the learning outcome. So those are two big areas. And in terms of revenue, how it helps us is because now we are able to provide the entire service to school. So basically schools' costs go down and that's why they are able to pay us a little bit more. So it increases the per unit kind of revenue realization for us as well.
Interesting. And tell us about your latest merger that you have with Ufysys Learning and what is your further plans?
Yeah, so this is pretty exciting. As you know, startups, we all start with limited resources and of course from a region. So Ufysys started in North India and have a pretty strong presence in North and Eastern part of the country. And we started in South. So we have a stronger presence in South and West. And then basically they had a pretty interesting portfolio approach and we had the curriculum approach. So kind of when the way the market is kind of expanding really rapidly, we were both the companies were looking at opportunities to find a natural partner, which can basically give us quick pan-India presence and a complete offering for our customers, right? Because school doesn't want to basically sit and mix and match things, where basically one company which can, as a platform, can provide the complete solution. That really reduces the headache for the school. So that was the idea, joining the hand. And so now with this merger, we are already serving 20,000 plus schools, and we are already the market leader in terms of, if you look at 21st century skills building solutions. So their publishers, of course, were bigger than us, but as a 21st century solution in school, we are the largest player. And with this merger, we are quite sure of crossing 100,000 school mark in next 3 to 5 years. So we are pretty excited about this bringing our vision of connecting this learning at home and at school. So yeah.
That's excellent, Mr. Kumar, and we hope you all the very best. And thank you so much for bringing such easy format of making students get educated, and as well as understanding where they stand in their school curriculum. Thank you so much for speaking to NewsX.
You're welcome, Richa.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.